One of the first questions that I got is from Jamal, and Jamal runs a very, very successful entertainment or media outlet on YouTube. And he literally wanted to know, well, technically, how can I get more active Twitter followers? And I think I couldn't exactly figure out the tone in an email, but the important part, I think, is the active part, because we all know when these social profiles or these social platforms start giving out their statistics every year about how many people are on them, the reality of it is, statistically, you can lessen that number because not everybody that has a profile is actually active on that platform. So he wanted to know, one of the first questions he wanted to know was how to find or to attract more active followers on LinkedIn. Okay, so Jamal, this is for you. First, in your efforts, you got to find where the people are. If you're already on Twitter, I'm hoping you're using a tool like I use Hootsuite. It's one of my favorite tools, hands down. And using Hootsuite allows me to see just how active people are when they are following me, or people that I would like to follow me. You can literally see on an individual's timeline on Twitter, and this is something that people don't do a lot. People are so busy trying to get their number up, trying to get their follower numbers up, and I understand that. But at the same rate, take some time and go through profiles every now and again and see the engagement that an individual has. If they're just steadily broadcasting, 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 and broadcasting, and you never see anybody mention their name in their timeline, they're not retweeting anybody, they're not talking to anybody at all, and you can see their last update was June of 2013, right from the start, you already know they are not an active Twitter follower. So what you can do is use Twitter directories. You can also do this and you can do this in a search too on Hootsuite. But there are directories called, there's two that I use sometimes. One is called Twello. Twello. Twelo. Twello. Twello is a great directory that you can search for people to follow, and for, you can introduce yourself and start engaging with individuals who are also on Twitter so that they can follow you. There's another one called We Follow, WeFollow. So Twello and We Follow. That's another great way of finding active Twitter followers, or people that you might want to follow, people that you want to follow you. Another thing that you can do too is use Twitter lists. Twitter lists. For you particularly, Jamal, if you are, since I already know a little background, on what you do, for those people that you are doing content about, and for those individuals that you want to follow you, go do a search on Twitter, see who they are following, see if they have any Twitter lists. Go through those lists. Now, at the end of the day, I know you're thinking this takes time. Yeah, it does. You're gonna have to put some time into it, but it doesn't have to take you all day. And this is something you can do in your leisure. I mean, you can do it on your mobile phone, while you're waiting for this and that and the other. But you can use the Twitter lists, and generally people that are creating lists, I would dare say, are people that are pretty, somewhat active on Twitter, because you're creating a list of individuals that you want to get the updates of, generally on a weekly basis or on a regular basis. So that's another way to find individuals to follow you, and who eventually you want to follow as well. I also said, once again, take some time in as you're going through those Twitter lists, as you're going through Twitter in general. Look at the profiles of individuals. Check for their engagement. And it's really easy to do. It doesn't take a whole bunch of extra at all to do. So the other thing that I want to suggest is I created a video just for, basically was answering this same question. And it was for actor, what's his name? Taye Diggs. And this was last year. And Taye Diggs was doing a campaign, and he was trying to get, like you, Jamal, more Twitter followers, more relevant Twitter followers. But what he got was a whole lot of extra, more than he probably bargained for in the way that he did it. So I created a YouTube video, and in that video, I shared a couple of tips with him that I already shared a few minutes ago, and how to attract the right followers. And I'm talking about active Twitter followers. So I'm going to try to show you. This video is here. I'm going to share my screen a second because it's right here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. So it's right here. This is the video. I'm not going to play it, but if you watch this video, there's at least 9 tips in this video that will share with you how to get more Twitter followers. So, all right. So the other question that was asked, and we'll go back to seeing me now, because Jamal, I know you had a couple more questions. Let me stop sharing my screen. Go back to me. So, the other question you had was how to properly tweet. Well, here's the thing, especially tweet stories, because I know already that you are a media outlet. And so people are literally looking at headlines on Twitter and on Facebook. And you're trying to figure out, well, how to best formulate your tweets so that you get more engagement. Well, the thing you gotta consider is this. One, a lot of what you do is around celebrity. So because you're doing a lot of stuff around celebrity, a lot of celebrities have Twitter profiles. So when you're crafting your tweets, and I would imagine when you are creating your, hopefully, now as a media outlet, you may or may not be using some sort of editorial calendar, or you're probably scheduling stuff in advance because you have a lot of content to get out to your audience. But as you are crafting those tweets to go out whenever, be sure to mention or mention those individuals that are featured in your content. Also, you want to use relatable hashtags. And what that will help you do is, one, when you start mentioning people in your tweets, of course, they get an alert that someone is talking about them. So hopefully they will take your content and retweet it. So that's one. Two, as far as using the hashtags, once again, hashtags are searchable. So when people are searching for individual names and hashtags, your content will come up in search. Also, when you are creating and drafting your tweets, and even on Facebook as well, be sure to use, on Facebook, we call it tagging. Be sure to tag those individuals that are mentioned in your content, whether it be a business, whether it be an individual, because at this point, almost, most celebrities at least have a fan page. And if they're still on the come up, then they might have a personal profile that they are using kind of sort of as a pseudo fan page until, they make it big. So be sure to tag people on Facebook and on Twitter when you're crafting your tweets. Use @ mentions.